Question number 139. What is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria? This is a repeated question. So, we discussed already here in this part. So, the Gelidium and Gracilaria, the product that we obtained is agar-agar. So, repeated question 139. By means of the agar-agar, so by the red algae, we obtain the solidifying agent. This we call it as an agar-agar. So, for this question, option 1 is the correct answer. Question number 140. Non-motile, greatly thickened asexual spore. It's an asexual spore, but thick wall spore. When we talk about thick wall spore, the spore is here, and you could see the thick wall structures here, the thick wall structure, and this we call it as a hypnospore. Hypnospore. This is the thick wall structure. It's asexual, and this has got thick wall structures on over it. Okay, this is hypnospore. Question number 141. Laminaria and fucus belongs to. Laminaria and fucus belong to. It's a brown algae. So, Phaeophyceae. Option 3 is the correct answer for question 141. Okay, for question 141, 3 is the correct answer. Question number 142. In algae, which is rich in protein? So, there are 4 species that given the algal species, which seems to be rich in the protein here. The protein, it's chlorella, and also the same chlorella which used by astronauts in the spacecraft. So, dual functions you could see. So, 4 is the correct answer. Question number 143. Which of now the following is responsible for peat formation? Peat formation which is used as a fuel. Where sphagnum which can be used as a fuel formation. Where among the following the bryophyte, the sphagnum is the most important, where this commonly called as bog moss or a peat moss. Sphagnum, bog moss, or this is otherwise called as peat moss. This is also called as peat moss. We call it as sphagnum. This can be used as a fuel for this question. For question number, this is 143. Okay, so what happened? It is perennial and is grown continuous year after year, and older portions undergo death but do not decompose due to secretion of acid that accounts for the antibacterial and antifungal actions. The increasing mass of dead, compact, dark colored mass rich in carbon, which is called peat. Peat is also used as fuels, paraffin, acetic acid, peat, tar and ammonia, and are formed by the byproducts of the peat which are obtained by the industrial use. This credit goes to the sphagnum. Question number 144. On germination, moss spores produces protonema, which we already discussed about the protonema. I hope you can recollect it, right? So, 144, option 2 is the correct answer. Question number 145. Meiosis and Diopterus takes place during spore formation. So, option 145, 1 is the correct answer. 1 is the correct answer, yes. So, sporic meiosis occurs inside the sporangia in Diopterus. It produces like haploid spores. On germination, what happens? Haploid spores, that meiosis produce haploid bodies which called gametophytes. Question number 146. Which of the following statements about pteridophytes are true? First terrestrial plants to possess vasculature. We already discussed this is the first plants which are evolved on the earth, which seems to be the vascular tissues. Question 146, option 3 is the correct answer. Question number 147. A rootless truly vascular fossil plant is, which is equally Rhynia you could see, and also you could see Astroxylon macri, right. So, both options 147, where these Astroxylon macri and Aglophyton major are the fossil plants of the lower Devonian period. Devonian period also it's been evidenced. Rhynia and Astroxylon plants are rootless and possess true vascular tissues. However, these are the major differences from these plants is the respect that it does not produce true vascular tissues. This is a quite common feature of these plants, you could see. Question 147, 4 is the correct answer. 148, which of the following pairs is wrongly matched? You could see Salvinia is with the prothallus, it's incorrectly matched. Option 2 is the correct answer. Then viroids, everything is fine. So, mustard is fine, right, but second option is incorrect. 149. Which of the following pteridophytes belong to the class of Pteropsida? Pteris and adiantum. So, question 149. Pteropsida is a class of pteridophytes where you could see containing only the ferns. Ferns are pteridophytes that bear sporangia in form like we discussed called sori, right? The sori, like the structures that we discussed, I hope you can recollect when you look at the video. So, when you look at the leaf, just beneath the midrib, you could see the structure. So when you see the structures of midrib, you could see indusium, the indusium structures. These are like indusium, the structures that you could see. Inside you could see the sorus or sori. This is called as sori, just beneath the leaf. And this is the midrib, we call it as midrib. And this structure, the protective structure that you could see is indusium structure. Inside we call it a sori or sorus. Right, in this only you could the sporophyll, the sporangium or the sporophylls can be produced outside. You could see in the leaf where it is, where both male and female which present in the same part seems to be monoecious. The antheridium and archegonium both which present in the same body. Okay, so we done with this part. The 149.4 is the correct answer. 150, the seed habit is considered an important step in evolution which is due to heterospory. Option 1 is the correct answer. Question 151, Fern gametophyte we could see in both A and B, that is homothallic and in monoecious, Fern gametophyte. So 151 we have done, option 4 is the correct answer. 152, eusporangiate fern is produced from, that is a fern prothallus is monoecious as both antheridia and archegonia. Both male and female sex organs are present on the same prothallus. Further it is protrandrous. It means antheridia matured first is called as protrandrous. So we done with 151. 152, eusporangiate fern is produced from, a group of sporangial initial cells. Option 1 is the correct answer. So 153, select the mismatch. Cycas is dioecious, Salvinia is heterosporous, Equisetium is homosporous. Pinus is not dioecious, Pinus is monoecious, where you could see both male cone and female cone which present in the same plant. So option 4 is incorrect. 153, option 4 is the correct answer. 155, when you move to the next part, that is 155. Okay, we done with 153, right? So next move on to 154. Which of the following genera is associated with coraloid roots? Cycas is related with the coraloid roots because it consists of normal and coraloid roots. The cycas is concerned. Coraloid roots are irregular, it's a negative geotrophic and dichotomously branched coraloid roots and which do not possess the root hair and the root cap. Then coraloid roots have the symbiotic association with the blue-green algae like you take in case of nostoc and the Anabaena species. Question number 155. 155, which of the following genera is homosporous? Homosporous, you take Lycopodium is a homosporous because in pteridophytes you could see majority of the plants are homosporous because what is homosporous? Which produce a similar kind of the spores. An example you take Lycopodium. However, plants of genera like Selaginella, Salvinia are heterosporous, but Pinus and Cycas, the gymnosperms are also heterosporous. So question 155.4 is the correct answer. 156, gymnosperms are also called softwood spermatophytes because they lack xylem fiber. Because they lack a xylem fiber, this name has been given for this. Question number 157, endosperms of gymnosperms are always haploid. So 157, endosperm of gymnosperm. So endosperm of gymnosperm, it is always haploid. But endosperm of angiosperms, this is always triploid, that is 3, and you should be very careful and extra cautious when you answer this type of question. Question number 158, the number of cotyledons in seed of cycas is 2 in number. Usually it is 2 in number in this case because cycas is like the embryo of cycas has got suspensor radical 2 unequal cotyledons and plumule you could say. 159, gymnosperms bear seeds but lack fruits because they lack what? Gymnosperms where you could see no ovary. Since there is no ovary, no fruit formation, As you know, ovule will become a seed, ovary will become a fruit. Since there is no ovary, so no fruit formation that you could see in case of gymnosperms. So 159, 3 is the right answer. 160, which of the following is not a feature of gymnosperms? Xylem with vessels is not the feature of, that is the reason like it forms soft bodies, usually soft tissues that you could see, which usually make for the plywoods and soft of the furniture making and all these places you can use it. 161, in Pinus, male cones bears a large number of microphyls. In the pine is the pine cone forest, you see like the sulfur clouds, you could see, because a large number of pollen grains microsporophyll which disseminate by means of air, that is by means of wind pollination. So this leads to the characteristic features like sulfur cloud. It's like yellowish appearance. There's nothing related with sulfur. The color of the spores like yellow color, so sulfur yellow, it looks like, so we call it a sulfur cloud. This is because of the microsporophylls which produce huge number. So 162, select the incorrect statements regarding angiosperms. Megaspore is diploid. So megaspore is always the haploid in case of angiosperm. You would have seen like 4 megaspore mother cells which formed out of megasporogenesis, out of which 3 will be degenerated, only 1 will become a functional, and that will become 7 cell 8 nucleate stage. I hope this is called as monosporic development in case of angiosperms. So question number 163, life cycles of ectocarpus and fucus respectively are haplodiploidic and diploidic life cycle for question number 163. Question number 164, male and female gametes are independent and free living in sphagnum. In sphagnum, question number 164, option 4, because sphagnum is a bryophyte which dominant phase of plant body, is dependent and free living gametophyte. The sporophyte is parasitic over the gametophyte. In pinus, you could see a gymnosperm, that is a mustard and casted in case of angiosperms. The main plant body is the sporophytic. Gametophyte is highly reduced and completely depend on the sporophyte. This is a feature that you could see difference even with the bryophytes and pteridophytes. 165, artificial system of classification were based on habit, and that is on all of this. Vegetative character, andrecium and habit and habitats, all of this. 166, which of the following are included under Tracheophyta, that is in vascular plants, where you could see all of this. Pteridophytes, right from the pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms, all are the vascular plants. But pteridophytes doesn't make much use of it since of no success, because it requires water for its fertilization. But in spite of, but still it's having the vascular tissues. Only till bryophytes only doesn't have the vascular tissue. So 166, 4 is the right answer. 167, system of classification that employs numerical data to evaluate similarities and differences is known as phonetics. We call this as a phonetics. So question number 168, a system of classification in which a large number of traits are considered as natural system of classification. We call this as a natural system of classification. This is for question number 168 as well. 169, when you take plant classification proposed by Carolus Linnaeus was artificial because it was based on only the few morphological characters only Carolus Linnaeus was proposing. So based on this, why we go with 169, option 1 is the correct answer. 170, read the given statement about algae and select the correct option. You could see statement 1, 2 and 3 are true because algae are usually aquatic, either marine or freshwater. Only the few algal occurs in the moist terrestrial habitats like tree trunks and wet rocks, moist soil, etc. Plant body in this thallus without any differentiation, that you could see, that's the reason why we call it as a thallus. It is unicellular, colonial and filamentous, parenchymatous, or it is pseudo-parenchymatous, sexual, asexual and vegetative modes of reproduction is abundant. And this forms, you could see size and algae which microscopic unicellular forms like chlamydomonas, to colonial forms like you could see in case of volvox, and to filamental forms that you could see in case of eulothrix and spirogyra. So we done with 170. Option 3 is the correct answer. 171. Chlorella and spirulina both are unicellular algae rich in proteins which are used as a food supplement. So option 171, 1 is the correct answer. 172. Major photosynthetic pigments. A is a common pigment in all the plants and you could see in case of algae, but chlorophyll B is the next to chlorophyll A, B is also like major pigment, photosynthetic pigment. Option 1 is the correct answer. 173. Green algae usually have a rigid cell wall made of an inner layer that is cellulose and pectose. We discussed like diatoms like outer layer, inner layer, soapbox like arrangement, radial arrangement, where it made up of cellulose and pectose. We discussed already about this. So 173, option D is the correct answer. 173, where the cell wall is made up of the outer cell layer and inner cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectose. So 173 of D is the right answer. 174, fusion of two gametes which are dissimilar in size, that is oogamy. So you could see oogamy and anisogamy both are dissimilar in structure in this case. Look at the diagram. This will be helpful to answer this type of questions. So question 174, both are correct. Both are dissimilar, but isogamy both are same. Morphologically both are same. Okay. Question number 175. Select the correct match of algal class and its characteristics flagellation. All of this we could see rhodophyceae, phaeophyceae, chlorophyceae, all the options which seems to be correct for 175. 176, Batrachiospermum is the red algae of a fresh water. You could see in the fresh water. The seaweeds that form the underwater forest are all of this, that is Kelps laminaria and Marcocystis. Okay. Question number 178, in Eulothrix, sexual reproduction is by, so how the sexual reproduction which occurs in Eulothrix is by isogamy. So question number 178, isogamy is the correct answer. 179, seaweeds are the source of, usually the seaweeds are the source of iodine. Seaweeds, the source is iodine. Then we move to the last question. Common example for red algae. Is Porphyra, Batrachiospermum and Ectocarpus. Out of this we could see both A and B, that is Porphyra and Batrachiospermum seems to be the correct answer. That is a question number 180. So by this we done with this particular chapter, that is the plant kingdom. On the whole, you should be very careful with the Thallophyta, the classification Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, then the gymnosperms and angiosperms. Often you get the questions from the Thallophyta, the pigments, the chlorophyll pigments, and then the Bryophytes, Pteridophyte, that is like with the Sporophyte and the Gametophyte, and the examples that you could see like red algae, brown algae, green algae. So these are the areas you should be very careful. So by this we come to the end of this particular chapter, that is plant kingdom. But still, if you have any doubts or any queries that you want to clarify with us, please place your comments in your comment box. So your doubts, so your questions will be answered as early as possible. Thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you. I really appreciate your time and patience. We'll meet again in the next video. Thank you. Thank you so much.